Two men are sealed inside a cockpit the size of a small closet. They have been in the air for a day and a half, and they will not land for almost 2 more. One of them is asleep on a thin cot behind the seats. The other is alone, flying a $2 billion aircraft that the enemy cannot see, toward a target on the other side of the planet. They have not touched the ground in over 30 hours. They will not for another 14. No shower, no real bed, a chemical toilet 3 feet away, and a mission so secret that most of the world will never know they were there. This is what it actually takes to fly the B-2 Spirit. And the way these pilots eat, sleep, and stay alive on the longest combat missions in human history is stranger than anything you have imagined. To understand the madness, you have to understand the mission. The B-2 Spirit is a stealth bomber, invisible to radar, able to slip into the most heavily defended airspace on Earth, drop its weapons, and vanish before anyone knows it was there. But there is a catch. There are only a handful of these aircraft, and for most of their history, they have flown from a single base, Whiteman Air Force Base, in the middle of misery, not the Middle East, not the Pacific, misery. So when America needs to hit a target on the far side of the world, the B-2 does something almost no other aircraft does. It flies there, and it flies back, without ever landing. From the American heartland to Afghanistan and home again, to Libya and back. And in 2025, all the way to Iran and back, to strike deep underground nuclear sites in a single night. This is not new. The very first time the B-2 ever flew into combat back in 2001, it launched straight from Missouri, flew all the way to Afghanistan, dropped its bombs, and kept going to land on the other side of the world. That single flight lasted around 44 hours. It was, at the time, the longest combat mission ever flown by any aircraft in history. And it set the pattern the B-2 has followed ever since. Take off from the American heartland, reach any point on Earth, and bring the crew home. These are the longest combat missions ever flown. And for the 2 people inside, that creates a problem the public never thinks about. How do you keep a human being alive, awake, and sharp for almost 2 days in a seat? Start with the space itself. The B-2 has a crew of just 2, a pilot and a mission commander sitting side by side. But directly behind their seats is something you would never expect in a frontline bomber. A small open area, just big enough for a human being to lie down. This is the secret to surviving 44 hours. Because the crews bring things aboard that sound almost domestic. A folding cot or a camping roll mat, so one of them can actually stretch out and sleep. A cooler packed with food. Sometimes a small warming oven to heat a meal. And yes, a toilet. A basic chemical toilet sitting a few feet behind the seats, because when you are airborne for 2 days, biology does not wait. It is one of the strangest contrasts in all of military aviation. The most advanced, most expensive aircraft ever built, and inside, 2 men living like campers in a very fast, very deadly tent. Now, the sleep. You cannot fly a mission this long with a tired brain. A single mistake in a $2 billion stealth bomber over hostile territory, refueling in midair, is not something you recover from. So the crew does something remarkable. They take turns. One pilot flies while the other sleeps. Then they swap. The autopilot handles the long, straight cruise across oceans, while one human being lies down on that thin cot just a few feet behind a working cockpit and tries to actually fall asleep. Think about that for a moment. You are stretched out on a cot inside a nuclear-capable stealth bomber, thousands of miles from home, and you have to switch your brain off and rest, trusting that the person next to you will keep you both invisible and alive. Some pilots say the hardest part is not staying awake. It is learning to sleep at all, in a cramped, humming, vibrating machine, knowing what is waiting at the end of the flight. This is why the crews are chosen so carefully. 2 people, locked together in a tiny space for 2 days, have to trust each other completely. One flies while the other is unconscious. One handles the target while the other watches for threats. There is no room for ego, no room for panic, and absolutely no room for a single careless mistake. They train for years to reach this point. And even then, only a small number of pilots ever earn the right to fly this aircraft into combat at all. Then there is the food. Forget any image of a glamorous fighter pilot. On a 44-hour mission, the B-2 crews eat like people on a very long road trip. They pack coolers with sandwiches, snacks, energy bars, fruit, whatever will survive the hours and keep them going. Some bring a small portable oven to warm up a proper hot meal in the middle of a mission, because a hot meal at hour 30 can be the difference between a sharp mind and a fading one. Coffee, of course. Lots of it. And the bathroom situation is exactly as awkward as it sounds. That chemical toilet behind the seats is the only option, in an open space, a few feet from your crewmate, for 2 straight days. There is no privacy at 40,000 feet. There is only the mission, the machine, and the two of you, sharing the smallest, strangest home on Earth. But food and sleep are not enough. The real enemy on a mission this long is your own body. After 30 hours awake, the human brain begins to fail. Reaction time slow, judgment slips, micro sleeps, tiny involuntary blackouts lasting a second or two start to creep in. And a micro sleep while refueling from a tanker or while flying into defended airspace could end everything. And it is not just the mind. Sit almost motionless in a seat for 2 days, and the body itself begins to rebel. Blood pools in the legs, raising the risk of dangerous clots. The dry, recycled cabin air pulls the moisture out of you, so dehydration creeps in even as you sip water. Muscles stiffen, backs ache. The simple act of staying still for that long, in that little space, becomes its own slow form of punishment. So the Air Force turned to chemistry. On some of these missions, pilots are prescribed what are unofficially called go pills, stimulants, carefully controlled, used to keep the crew alert and focused during the most critical hours. And after they finally land, exhausted but wired, they may be given no-go pills, sedatives to force their overloaded bodies to finally shut down and sleep. Think about the strangeness of that. To fly this aircraft, the crew does not just train their minds, they manage them with chemistry, revving the body up to survive the mission, then shutting it down to survive the landing. And running through the entire flight is the one thing that makes 44 hours even possible. Aerial refueling. The B-2 cannot carry enough fuel to cross the planet and come home, not even close. So, along the way, it links up with tanker aircraft again and again, sometimes more than a dozen times in a single mission. Picture it. You are exhausted. It is the middle of the night. You are flying a stealth bomber, and you have to slide it into position just feet beneath a tanker. Hold it perfectly steady while thousands of pounds of fuel flow through a boom into your aircraft, and do it without a mistake. Then you do it again a few hours later, and again. Every refueling is a small test of nerve, stacked on top of exhaustion, stacked on top of the pressure of the mission itself. Miss it, and the aircraft that was supposed to reach the other side of the world simply cannot get there. And then there is the part no cot or coffee can fix: the mind. For hours upon hours, almost nothing happens. The bomber hums across empty ocean in the dark. The same instruments, the same black sky, the same person beside you. It is crushing boredom, the kind that makes minutes feel like hours. And then, without warning, it flips. You approach the tanker, or the coast, or the target, and suddenly every second matters, and a single error is fatal. That whiplash, endless boredom snapping into life or death focus and back again, over and over for 2 days, is one of the hardest things about the entire mission. And after all of that, the sleepless hours, the cot, the chemical toilet, the pills, the endless refueling. After 30 hours or more of it, the crew finally arrives at the reason for the entire ordeal: the target. This is where every mile pays off. The B-2 slips into hostile airspace, unseen, and in a matter of minutes, does what it flew across the world to do. In 2025, 7 of these bombers struck deep underground nuclear sites in Iran in a single coordinated night, dropping the largest bunker-busting bombs in the American arsenal on targets nothing else could reach. Only the B-2 could carry those bombs. Only the B-2 could reach those targets unseen. Decades of engineering and days of human endurance, all compressed into a few silent minutes over the target. The strike itself lasted minutes. Getting there took most of a day. And here is the part that breaks the mind. Once the bombs are gone, the mission is only half over, because now the crew has to turn the aircraft around and fly all the way home. Another 15-20 hours, back across the oceans, back through the refuelings, back to that same cot and that same coffee, now running on empty, until finally the wheels touch down in misery, and 2 exhausted human beings climb out of the machine that just flew to the other side of the world and back without ever landing. This is the hidden cost of stealth. The B-2 is famous for being invisible, for being expensive, for being one of the most advanced weapons ever built. But the real story is not the technology. It is the 2 people inside, living like campers in a $2 billion ghost, sleeping in shifts on a thin cot, sharing a chemical toilet at 40,000 feet, managing their own bodies with chemistry just to stay awake, doing all of it in silence, in secret, for almost 2 days at a time, so that a target on the far side of the planet can be reached by an aircraft no one ever sees coming. The B-2 does not just test the limits of engineering. It tests the limits of the humans brave enough and stubborn enough to fly it. And that might be the most impressive part of the whole machine. If stories like this are why you love military aviation, subscribe. There is a new one